Hello, my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies. Today is a special day because you are going to get two official greetings from me. This is the first one because I wanted to make it while I was still able to look directly at you. For these longer scripted videos right now, while I do have a teleprompter, my setup is not the greatest. And so despite my best efforts, when I start reading this script for you, my eyes are probably gonna be off, and I just wanted a moment so we could actually connect, because I know that's really aggravating when someone's unfortunately having to do that. I hope you can understand. We're gonna do it this way, at least for a little while, at least until maybe I can invest or figure out a better setup, okay? Thank you so much. Hello, my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies. Welcome to 2023. I really want for y'all's lives to start going way better than they currently are. Even if things are good for you right now, fine, they can be better. And I'm not meaning this in the hustle culture, be constantly improving mental health eugenics sort of way. I mean it in the I've seen certain things work to take me from pretty much constant suffering to generally consistent contentment to happiness. I'm going to share all of that with you because if more people have the information and if more people are talking about it and bringing awareness to it, I believe we could start to see, after many years, a more positive cultural shift. I'd like to see that anyway, and it's what I'm looking to create, even in my small way. We have been experiencing and will continue to experience a massive shift. Shifts are sources of a lot of turbulence, usually violent turbulence at this point still, unfortunately, and depending on how we respond, what we do, that violence will continue maybe for ages to come in linear time. The ways of the world are not within our control, and frankly, a lot of people have a great deal invested in violence. Those energy systems are quite dense, and it will be no small task to dissolve them, but we can. It may continue to be generational work, but we can do it. I'm fairly critical when I talk about things like mass collective shifts because usually the phrase, we're shifting to 5D, comes along with a lot of what's essentially the new age rapture, which there is a sort of truth to stories about rapture and apocalypse, but it's not literal like people make it out to be. We are never going to see giant Jesus come out of the sky to do literal battle with the Antichrist. The aliens are not going to land and teach us all about their super tech, which we are now leveled up enough to receive. These things will likely never literally happen, but they do happen on the individual level in a way. Typically, you will experience apocalypse before change, or the change is the experience of the apocalypse. It's the state of dissolution at work. Change is a disruption of our regularly scheduled programming. And even when that news is good, we tend to react to it with hostility. Mass change, mass shifts, yeah, you're gonna see signs of the apocalypse. But let me put you at ease. The apocalypse isn't going to happen. It's happening. Every moment of every day, it's happening. And so too is the birth of the new world. The question is, are you aware enough to see it? There is no going to happen. There's currently happening. All of it. Now, for most of us with any amount of spiritual or magical understanding, that's old news, which is good because that means we can expand beyond it. We can get new things, new ideas, and depending on how you feel about the new, about change, that will be terrifying or exhilarating. I'm more excited about it. Unfortunately, most of our new things have fallen under the realm of technology, which is amazing, don't get me wrong. However, our technology has consistently outpaced our personal energetic expansion and understanding. The realm of energy, what it is and how it functions, at least in America, is largely contained to what we consider as materially quantifiable, which when it comes to things like dictating the frame of consensus reality, that tends to be for the best. What it also means is this: our experience of the material world will continue to be slow. Slow can be nice. Personally though, I might like to have an option for my material experience. It all doesn't necessarily have to be slow. However, what approaches the speed of light does appear immobile. Slow is fast, fast is slow. The person who does and speaks the least tends to be the master. I'm no master. Not yet, maybe closer in my 70s, but we'll see. I do, however, have some knowledge to share about our shift and how to manage it all, and most importantly, how to create fulfillment. To be clear, the essence of what I'm going to say isn't new. You'll recognize a lot of it. My unique insight and methods may help you where other methods have failed. There's a lot that goes on in the realm of new thought and manifestation that just creates suffering. There is still generally not enough nuance within the larger manifestation community that really harms and alienates people. People have such a horrible experience of self-help and manifestation that they throw all of it out. They throw away what could benefit them because we're not communicating deeply and compassionately. And also because these methods, as they're largely understood in the mainstream, prop up financial scams, then blame the victims for being scammed. It's not the system that's failed, it's you. That's an absolute lie and it needs to stop. It won't, but I wish it would. Why won't it stop? Because a lot of people wish it was true. They want to believe. It is so seductive to believe that if I'm just thinking the right thoughts and feeling the right way, that nothing but what I perceive to be as good can happen to me. That I can have anything and everything I want. That if something's gone wrong, it's my fault. I'm in control. I am God. No, baby, no. That's not how this works. But it's not entirely untrue. That's what I'm going to talk about on all of my social media channels. New thought and manifestation are ready for a new age, the sovereign age. That is where this shift is taking me, and if you prefer it, you can come too. So, what is the sovereign age like? A huge hallmark of this age is the awareness of energetic interconnection and interdependence. Typically, this is phrased as, we are all one. As we are? No, we're not all one. Is there a spiritual dimension where that is literal truth? Yes. Most of us aren't experiencing that dimension. We're connected to it, but we're not embodying it. Over here, you're really not going to hear me talk about oneness because most of us, including myself, have no deep understanding of it. It's something we know intellectually while not being alive in our energy. In general, I don't entertain talk about oneness because y'all don't mean it. We're all one. Except for me and that bitch. We're all one. But not Hitler. He's in hell. If he's in hell, you're in hell. Because we're all one. I will hear talk of oneness from Jesus, Buddha, Meister Eckhart, Thich Nhat Hanh, Tara Brach, and people comparable to them. Self-evaluate. If you don't have that level of understanding, feeling, and depth, spend more time listening than you do speaking. Over here, you won't hear me speak on oneness because there are still some of y'all I think can kiss my ass and go straight to hell. That's my current authenticity. So it would make no sense for me to talk oneness. I'm on the interdependence and interconnection part of the practice right now, how that functions healthily and how we can practice that more within materiality. If you want enlightenment, that's not me. I'm way more practical and pragmatic right now. I'm still concerned with material results. When I'm done with that, then I may talk enlightenment. I'm just not yet done with this realm of this world, and that is okay. Energy is massively important in the sovereign age. Don't get me wrong, it is important now, but it will become increasingly important as we continue on. The more we persist in old understandings and old techniques, when we're expanding beyond them, creates a lot of pain and a lot of wacky problems with manifestation. And what y'all are manifesting affects me, so we need to sort that out. When it comes to old ways and old beliefs we are expanding beyond, I really want you to hear me, and I would love for you to say it with me. The law of attraction is just a thought you keep on thinking. The age of the law of attraction is ending. It's on the way out. If it helps you, if you prefer it, continue to use it by all means. If you've noticed, however, issues with this idea, if it stresses you out, that's understandable. There is a more nuanced way to understand what's been meant by the law of attraction, and I'm going to talk about that. But for those of you who maybe had a mad reaction to my statement about the law of attraction, let me ask you this. Does the law function the same for everyone, everywhere? I mean human law. Does the law treat everyone the same way? Do we change the law? Human law? Spiritual law? Jesus did? Do you think the law of attraction bound Jesus? How could it when we say he operates out of space-time? 5D. 5D isn't too far. What about 86D? Do you really think your law functions there the same way? No. The law of attraction is already almost in full dissolution in 5D and isn't relevant at all at 6. So why are you clinging to it? Does gravity behave the same on Earth as it does in outer space? On Jupiter? In another dimension entirely? If you want to leave this realm, you cannot follow that realm's law. And let's feel the energy on that word law. What is that? A binding, a constraint, imprisonment. I don't know about you, but I'm not on the energy of restriction. I'm on expansion. And some of you will screech, human law is different from divine law. Then those same people will spout, as above, so below. We are all one. But none of what I think or create has any effect on any of these NPCs, these constructs of the matrix. Do y'all hear yourselves? Anyway, I'm not on the law of attraction. I'd rather a field of possibility than a law. But if it makes you feel safe, and if you're getting results with it, keep it. Just be aware that anything I'm talking about will likely frustrate you because essentially the frequencies are too different. That does not mean better or worse, just different. That's another thing. Hierarchies on the way out in the sovereign age. It's way less about a singular perspective than it is about communal perspective. I don't know everything. No one does. As things continue on here, hopefully we'll see more panel or group discussion than just me talking, but that will come when it comes. Hierarchy, better, worse, low, high. There is a place for organization. The way we still tend to do it is harmful. It creates genocide. If you're harping on the elite or they or anything with a pyramidal structure, you're harping on something in general on the way out. While there is not currently material abundance, no one has the market cornered on enlightenment, personal serenity, and energetic abundance. And energetic abundance is the key to increasing material abundance for all. Pyramids are old news. That's why they're all dusty and crumbling. Are there important truths about that shape and the way it tends to channel energy? Yes. And when used appropriately in certain situations, it's great. Fantastic for sending out and receiving signals. But it's not the end-all, be-all. If you've read the Bible, even Yahweh was against the idea of the people having a king. They said, the people have me. They need no king. It was the people who demanded the king, the middleman, and while Yahweh granted the request, it came with consequences. They said to him, behold, you are old, and your sons don't walk in your ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, give us a king to judge us. Samuel prayed to Yahweh. Yahweh said to Samuel, listen to the voice of the people in all that they tell you, for they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me as the king over them, according to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even to this day, in that they have forsaken me and served other gods. So they also do to you. Now, therefore, listen to their voice. However, you shall protest solemnly to them and shall show them the way of the king who will reign over them. 1 Samuel chapter 8, verses 5 through 9. Think of God as total energetic abundance. Do you really want someone between you and that? There doesn't have to be, but it requires more from you than following orders and parroting again and again and again a law someone else created. Now let me tell you about my system that I created. These aren't laws. It's much more malleable than that. Limitless beings aren't bound by law. We manage states on various spectrums. As I'm currently limited by language and a linear experience of time, I'm going to give you this system in an order. But there is no real order. All of this is going on simultaneously. It's our focus that shifts. And eventually, this system will be of no use. Really, once you get to a certain point with practice and understanding, you won't need any system or video or book. It'll be automatic. You'll just get it because it will be of your energy. Once it's of your energy, you don't need to think about it anymore, and you'll be able to help people with your unique insight and understanding. Really, when we watch most manifestation content anyway, it's to be in the energy of the thing and not for what anyone's saying. Because we're all saying something similar in a different way. The essence remains the same. It's our perception that changes. And on that note, let me add, before I get into this system, that the universe is not all mental. It's not all of the mind. Perception is powerful, but if you persist with this it's all mental stuff, you're likely going to be incredibly uncomfortable. The mind is important. It's nowhere near the most powerful element of manifestation. If you want a wonderful perspective on an all-mental universe, please read A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle. Y'all go ahead with that if you want. Not me, no thanks. So, what is manifestation? It's magic. So, what's magic? Magic is the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with the will. That's according to Aleister Crowley, and on the whole, I agree. But there's energy on that definition that's not my preference. Same with the word magic. There's a sharpness there. I'm looking to soften with the word manifestation. Listen to that. Hear my words, you wise men. Give ear to me, you who have knowledge. For the ear tries words as the palate tries food. Let us choose for us that which is right. Let us know among ourselves what is good. Job chapter 34, verses 2 through 4. Magic, manifestation. The difference is that magic tends to be at times brutally direct and leans a bit more into control than I care for personally. Magic tends to be more systemic, more intellectual, more sciencey. Manifestation is more relationship focused. It tends towards unfolding, brief uses of intentional or inspired action as opposed to disciplined use of precise ritual. While we're looking for intentional change or result, manifestation leans much more heavily into art and tends to, at times, de-emphasize personal will. The downsides of magic is that it can become too rigid, controlling, demanding, dominance-based, violent, judgmental, and overly intellectual. The downsides of manifestation is that it can become completely wishy-washy, delusional, anti-intellectual, permissive, and completely dominated by how we feel. And while how we feel is important, in manifestation, mainstream manifestation, there's a skewed interpretation of positivity and what's positive, and that you should do only what feels good in the moment, only what makes you happy. Follow your bliss. Except manifestation is about change. Change is about discomfort. If your interpretation of follow your bliss means chasing pleasure, you will likely not be experiencing happiness. If you expect to only feel good, you likely won't be experiencing much change. If you avoid discomfort to manifest, you won't manifest. Not in any significant way. Crowley's definition includes both science and art, system plus serendipity. And yes, when they are in synchronicity, they tend to create beautiful things. Really, the words I grimace at are conformity and, to a lesser extent, will. Conformity, like law, has that heavy restriction energy on it, and coupled with will, it just has a more aggressive personal presence than I prefer. These things, these forces bend to my will, my wishes, my demands. Sometimes, yeah. All the time, it's an issue, in my opinion, but the definition is accurate. I don't disagree with the statement. I have questions about the spirit of the thing. But basically, that has conqueror energy on it. And I tend to come more out of diplomacy, and I operate way more in the frame of relationship and union when it comes to my magical work. And I think that's apparent from my definition of manifestation. Manifesting is an ever-evolving practice of intentional creation that is evident in the material world. I used to say act instead of practice, but practice has way more process in it, more allowance for stumbling and clumsiness, while act is more definitive and singular. Also, I don't like the performance implication on act. It's not an act we're doing. It's real. How can you make something real if it's an act? It's not likely you will for long. The thing must exist first before you will experience a material manifestation. God was, before they thought, then spoke, what already was into existence. Potential, the energy, must be present or you likely won't see much. And while manifestation, the process, the system part, is simple, it is not easy. Not at first. It does become easier and effortless with practice and increased understanding, and that's available to everyone. So here is my system, my take, that will maybe help you out if you ever find yourself stuck. My system has no laws, no unyielding rules and regulations. My system, like reality, is malleable, but there is form there still, and there are elements of discipline, because one of the larger mistakes of New Thought is the centering of personal happiness and bliss over fulfillment and, in general, collective peace and elevation. We've been too self-indulgent. The creation of fulfillment requires sacrifice and discipline, and how those manifestors will flee from those words and the energy they imply. Magic, Manifestation and miracles birth from paradox. The union of opposites, science and art, system and serendipity, discipline and dream. From appropriate discomfort comes consistent contentment. Embrace pain to experience pleasure. To truly manifest long-term, know this. To change reality, it is in our best interest to recognize and accept our current reality, then pass through it. Our current reality is the threshold to whatever other reality you wish to experience. Manifesting any other way, which you can, is rearranging the scenery, not the situation. Move the deck chairs all you want, the ship's still going down. You can change the form without changing the energy, and that's not going to a new world. That's putting lipstick on a pig. I'm sure it's a nice color though. Without that major understanding, most manifestation systems and techniques will likely only contribute to your overall suffering, including mine. Tools can only do so much. At the end of the day, it is your energy that matters. My system, which does have a name I'm not ready to reveal yet, is the management of 3 major states and their substates. Each of these states exists on a spectrum. That may sound confusing, but most of this is automatic. You don't need to worry about it. You just want to be aware of the system, so if you start experiencing consistent issues, you know where to place your focus and direct your energy. The 3 main states are the state of dreaming, the state of divination, the state of development. The state of dreaming is where we do most of the actual work, and it's energetic work, internal work. This is the state where you are employing techniques, reading books to shift your understanding, listening to various teachers, employing affirmations, visualizing, playing things out and running simulations in the currently unmanifest dimensions, ritual work, meditation. All of this and more is all attempting to alter your energy, your potential. You are creating it in you or realizing it within you before you see it play out or develop. All of this stuff is serving your state of worth, the single substate included within the state of dreaming. The state of worth says, the character of your life, the attitude of your birth, combined into one, generates your worth. The state of worth references your self-worth, your self-esteem. This is the quality, clarity, and brilliance of your personal facet of the overall grand, shifting, crystalline, whatever of all there is. Depending on where you are, this might not be all that great at the moment, but that can change. It's only the energy itself that's eternal, not the state nor the form. Your current state of worth says nothing about your inherent value. That's the immutable part. You are extraordinarily worthy and valuable, infinitely so, but you can't operate from that energy until you realize that. That's what the state of dreaming is for. Working out or working through the energy, and sometimes we'll need to encounter material manifestations to do this. If we're really stuck, we'll create the issue in materiality to see it and interact with it concretely and viscerally, to resolve it or reach some sort of understanding. This isn't necessary, and you'll likely do less of this once you're really clear of significant blockages. Your worth doesn't really change. There are just things that block you from perceiving what's there. We've got to break up and dissolve those layers to reach gold. And once you do that, things become amazing. Like way better than you're likely thinking things could ever be for you. The second major state is the state of divination. The state of divination, or how it operates, results directly from your current state of worth. There's nothing for you to do here, just observe, understand, and discern. There are 2 substates within the state of divination: the state of transmission and the state of affirmation. These two states combined is what we used to understand as the law of attraction. This state, which has been stressed as the thing that dictates everything, and blah, 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 is what I personally pay the least amount of attention. This is where we'll experience synchronicity. By the way, the amount of synchronicity you're experiencing and the frequency doesn't really mean much about the proximity of your manifestation. And in fact, getting too involved with synchronicity can cause us a lot of problems. They're not totally irrelevant, but they're also not everything. And remember, it's us creating that, not some random sign we have zero agency over. The state of transmission says, the thoughts which you think, the things that you feel, that is the energy that makes your dreams real. Your state of transmission is your state of worth projected outward. The base energy is what creates your vibe, frequency, or overall mood. That energy, coupled with the vision of the form we're looking to create, is what transmits into the wider energy field and activates the universal network. No matter your state of worth, no matter your current frequency, this still functions, and you can use it intentionally. Being low vibe on its own will not prevent you from intentionally manifesting. So there's no need to get into a tizzy about your frequency. You can be concerned, but there's no call for panic. This is why time and a lot of in between the now and then of a manifestation is good for us. Your thoughts in general are manifestations of the current state of your base energy. If your vibe is lower, you'll notice more critical, fear-based, or even self-harming thoughts. We tend to react to those thoughts, which can then lead us to spiral. So what might be beneficial would be to reduce the energy and attention behind those thoughts. This is why most intentional manifestors invest in some form of meditation. That tends to be good for our health anyway. Instead of attempting to change your thoughts, which is fine if you do, but it is the feeling or energy that's the root. Soothe the feeling. It's like a crying kitten that wants mom. Give it a cuddle and it'll be purring in no time. Typically though, to soothe, we will talk to ourselves, which does involve thinking something different. If you're able, when you catch yourself reacting to thoughts, just notice it and say something like, hey, it's okay. None of that's happening right now. And it may never happen. We're okay. We're safe. Over time, as we soothe the feelings and alter our self-talk, our energy shifts. Then these things become more than a habit. It's just the way we are. To do this, you possibly will need therapy depending on your current mental health status. The state of affirmation says, the world is not solid. Form is not true. The strength of your signal affirms that which is you. This is the synchronicity part. Once we're sending out our intentional signal, we'll experience feedback of that signal within materiality. The feedback is synchronicity. I want to stress that synchronicity is a form your energy united with the universal system has flagged. It's like it's highlighted. Same resonance. However, all possibilities, all forms are present within your material experience. The quality of the forms that get flagged tend to match, in general, your current state of worth, that base energy. You want a new job that feels better to you. It's in your best interest to work on feeling better before you manifest. Because while you can manifest a new job that may match your vision entirely, it will do nothing for how you feel. You will tend to experience similar dynamics at the new job that you did at the former job. Shifting the scenery, not the situation. That's why the energy, the way you currently feel on the whole, is important. not because it will stop you from manifesting, but because that manifestation won't do what you're hoping it will do. This state is automatic. What you see in materiality will be a mix of positive and negative, no matter how high vibe you get. The strength of the contrast does soften by a lot, and things do tend to get better as they get better. Still, what you observe is far less important than what you engage with. This brings us to our final state, the state of development. This is where things become consistently solid within our experience of materiality. And again, most of this is automatic except for our interaction, which is the most important element when it comes to solidifying form and fixing it in place long term. Because remember, impermanence is eternal. Things always change. The three substates are the state of dissolution, the state of engagement, which is the important one for our personal action, and the state of solution. Dissolution and solution, automatic. Engagement requires action, but will go in order. The state of dissolution says, to create a new world, we must pay our dues. In order to gain, you always first lose. Old stuff has to go for new stuff to come in. Thoughts, items, experiences, it all has to be let go or be removed. We don't keep it all. Nothing is permanent here. Nothing. Seems permanent sometimes, it's not. If the vision of your life appears radically different from the life you're living now, get ready to lose everything. That's also why time is our friend. Experiencing that over time is much gentler and more pleasurable than having all of it go or everything come in right now. That is violent, even if we'd call it a good thing. That all handles itself. The state of engagement, our big one, says, that which you choose, that which you keep, dictates forever the dreams that you seek. Okay. So all of the possibilities are present in our current materiality, but our frequency tends to highlight the closest form to our intention and vision that will be a range of the negative and positive that exists in our current base energy. When you engage with those synchronicities, that pings in the network as more of that. When you engage with something you don't like, that makes you feel bad, just the engagement tells the network, okay, they like that. Look at how they're engaging with it. Anything you engage with that does not match your intention and vision creates more of not your intention and vision. So close that out by reducing your engagement. Engage with the syncs that correspond and pay attention to how you feel engaging with them. Remember, even the syncs will be on a range of our current spectrum of negative and positive. If you get a sync that feels more negative, just note it. It's still creating the end result, but we're looking to maximize engagement with what matches and what creates fulfillment simultaneously. You might feel trepidation prior to engaging with the sync event, especially if whatever it is outside of your comfort zone. And it will be. If you're creating something new, it will be. It's worth engaging with even if you're feeling fear if it's a match. Evaluate how you feel after the engagement. If it's invigorated and energized, that's what we're wanting to increase. And this is messy, so don't give yourself the standard of getting it all correct all the time. Truly, Abraham Hicks is correct when they say you can't get it wrong. So don't add more stress. Finally, the state of solution says, if you know what to do to change what is here, the devoted will see. Their dreams will appear. This is the end result, which is constantly shifting and changing, and this is also automatic. Tend to your base energetic state and what you're choosing to engage with, and let the universe do the rest. That sounds easy, but it's not. It's simple, and simple can start out hard. But once you get it, and you won't need any damn system. It will all be effortless and seemingly automatic, and your life will seem, to an outsider, charmed. Choice within the state of engagement gets tricky. That's for another video. This one is long enough. That's the sovereign age and manifesting in it. I hope that helps you in some way. But remember, it's a mess. We get to be messy. Messy doesn't mean wrong. So, if you are a fellow mess looking to manifest in the sovereign age, join the club, give me a follow. I talk about all of this almost every day across all of my social media accounts. So check out the links below if you'd like more. I'll also be creating more on energy and energy management, as well as manifestation checks in the form of card readings. I'll have some book reviews that correspond to these topics, including high strangeness and the various beings with which we share our space. If any of that sounds interesting, stay tuned to this channel. My traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies. We're not here to create happily ever after. We're here to create happy right now.